Great place.
All right, bike industry question. How long did it take to bring the ReRun from concept to market, and what was the toughest challenge with that bike?
That's a good specific question. I like that. We started concepting that, at least talking about it, in end of 2021, early 2022. So I guess in that sense, it took about 3 years. So I spent a good bit of time on that bike in the beginning, and we got set up working with Bosch. And e-bikes are, compared to a normal analog bike, whatever we call them these days,
Normal bikes.
Normal bikes.
Meat powered. A
Meat-powered
meat powered bike.
That's one of my favorites.
I like that. There's a lot going on with e-bikes. There's a lot of parts in there and a lot of little wires and motor mounts and batteries. There's a lot of things changing every day. And so we all had to learn a lot. Like Revel's, like a lot of us, actually I'll say confidently, none of us in the building were huge e-bikers at the time. So we had to learn a lot. And I didn't want to just make a bike. Like we've established the brand Revel of we make the bikes we want to ride. We kind of hope other people do too. So the e-bike was definitely stepping out of that a little bit, but it's hey, we're also a modern company. We like trying new things. We're not super, we're not going to just stay super close-minded, and e-bikes are super fun at the end of the day. We all know that. But we had to learn a lot about e-bikes. And we made a pretty unique one with a long travel, but lightweight motor. And we sort of said you can go up Ajax Mountain near us. It's a 3,000-foot climb, and then this awesome, crazy, cool, fun descent. And we were hey, we want to make a bike that's perfect for doing that ride, doing 2 laps of that after work, if you want to do 2 laps, because you couldn't do that on a normal bike. And it's well, this would be really cool. And I think we did a really good job. Biggest challenge? So, I left the company. They had just gotten a rideable prototype of that bike when I left the company. And then the team there did an awesome job finalizing it and getting it to market. And, a lot of the little final details that normally I'd be really involved in, I was gone from the company, and I wasn't. But I got back and I was actually before I closed the deal to buy the business, I grabbed one of those bikes and I went and rode it. And I was I need to make sure this bike's really good because I want to make sure it's really, really good.
You go ride it and you're actually, I take my offer back.
Yeah, just run away. No, I did the opposite. I got back and I was oh, this is awesome. This is a feeling of relief. I was really excited. Toughest challenge? There's a lot of stuff how you mount the battery and how you mount the motor and how you get your cable routing in there. If you want, I'm a huge fan of carbon guided internal cable routing. It's just easy to do anything mechanically with your bike at that point, and it keeps your bike quiet. I'm a huge fan of quiet bikes. The new ones are crazy quiet. We did all this awesome stuff with tolerances and bearings and all this stuff where it's they're so great from a quiet standpoint. But making that e-bike look good and fit a battery and fit internal cable routing that is easy and makes sense was really difficult. A lot of e-bikes
little engineering challenges.
Yeah. How to fit everything in there. And I'm super happy with how it turned out.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Do you think we should say the name that it was going to be called?
I think you should say the name that it's going to be called, because I thought that was the best name
so
ever.
when we visited Revel the last time, which was when you weren't there, people were pretty excited to tell us that the name was going to be the Relapse, or relapse, doing laps, relapse.
I love that.
Yeah, but it got shot down.
Too triggering or what?
Yeah, that's what I was told. I thought it was a great name.
It's
that's
very
cool.
clever, actually.
I will say we always did these.
I guess it's a sensitive topic, so
yeah, it could be, but there's a lot of sensitive topics. What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
there's the naming thing was always we'd do all these competitions, and everybody would write down ideas for names. And names and colors are 2 things. They're impossible.
Yeah,
and especially in this state in history.
You can't please everybody.
Yeah. You want to come up with a good business name in 1964? Tons of great names. Okay,
call it whatever.
Try
you
it
want.
now. Try it now. I dare you to try it now.
Yep. So true. So true. That's so true.
Watch out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So it's called the ReRun.
Yeah, I think
which is also a good name.
It's a good name.
It works.
It's clever as well.
Yeah. The bike's it's super fun, man. It's being away from that project, seeing what the team did to get to the finish line, the little details that, it's with a lot of projects, the last 10% of the project takes 90% of the time. That's definitely the case with a lot of bikes, especially the first e-bike we made. And I was really, really proud of the company after I was totally gone, especially with having outside institutional money involved. There can be a lot of pressure sometimes. And they did a great job of dialing in all those little details that it's easy for companies to kind of skip over sometimes.
Yeah.
And that bike is really dialed. I was really excited to see it.
Super fun bike.
Fun bike.
Really fun bike.
CBF on a motor. Kind of a good time.
Yeah. Yeah. Great recipe.
Yeah, no e-bike with a better suspension platform for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough.
And now the question we've all been waiting for.
This is a good one.
Uh-oh.
You want to read it, Jeff?
Sure.
Yeah.